Did the Supreme Court just give President Biden the green light to assassinate Trump with SEAL Team 6? That has actually become one of the main questions following the Supreme Court ruling 6-3 in a decision along ideological lines. It's actually a huge win for Trump, with them ruling that presidents are immune from prosecution. Although there are some caveats, such as the fact that the immunity can only apply to clearly official acts. And when you hear that, you go, okay, well, what is a clearly official act? And there, the court decided to do the super fun thing by not defining what that meant and what constitutes an official act. Instead, that'll be left up to lower courts to figure out the details. And so the new immunity standard means that the president is presumed to have it, although the stance wasn't shared by all the conservative justices. Ray Barrett instead wanted the court to take a two-step standard when considering whether a president is immune from prosecution, whether a statute actually applies to what the president did and whether it would interfere with the powers of the president while in office. But really, other than that small difference, the decision was a huge expansion of the president's immunity. Right, previously, it was just thought that they were barred from prosecution while in office other than with impeachments, which is why we saw special counsel Jack Smith argue that a former president had no immunity as long as a prosecutor got an indictment from a grand jury. But now, former presidents have a huge shield against prosecution, and the bar for overcoming it is really high, because you'd need to show that what the president did wasn't a clearly official act. And what's big and wild here is that this is just the second decision today that could affect Trump's prosecution, because before they dropped this decision, the court had handed down a ruling that severely narrowed the scope of an obstruction law that prosecutors were sometimes using to go after January 6 insurrectionists. With that also being a 6-3 decision, but with a twist, because Jackson voted with the conservatives while Barrett voted with the liberals. And so another question with all this is, taken together, what does this mean for the case against Trump? And there, well, it doesn't completely kill it. First off, the court rejected his arguments that only presidents who were impeached and removed from office could be prosecuted. So instead, the presidential immunity case will likely result in Trump and Smith arguing to lower courts over whether Trump's actions to appoint fake electors to hand him the 2020 presidential election was an official act. Also, even before the court made their obstruction ruling, Smith was arguing that Trump's efforts to send fake electors, that clearly falls under evidence tampering sections of the obstruction law, which arguably fall under the court's narrow view of the law. As you'd expect with all this, we have seen a lot of reactions to the news. Trump himself feeling that the court's decision, quote, should end all of crooked Joe Biden's witch hunts against me, including the New York hoaxes, the Manhattan scam cooked up by Soros-backed DA Alvin Bragg, racist New York Attorney General Tish James's shameless attack on the amazing business that I have built, and the fake Bergdorf's case. Proud to be an American. Although a lot of those cases arguably don't deal with official actions at all, though they'll all likely have another speed bump to overcome because of the decision. This has also understandably led to a lot of people wondering about what ifs, such as the Supreme Court just ruled that if the president ordered SEAL Team 6 to assassinate his political opponent, he would be immune from criminal prosecution. And actually, the thing is that is only slightly hyperbole, maybe? And that's because ordering SEAL Team 6 to do something is an official act. But as commander-in-chief, that is an official act. Which is why you've also seen so many commentators online saying that Joe Biden has the opportunity to do the funniest thing right now. So it feels insane that there is an actual argument that could cover this. And as far as what the justices had to say, with the majority riding in the immunity case, the president enjoys no immunity for his unofficial acts, and not everything the president does is official. The president is not above the law, but Congress may not criminalize the president's conduct in carrying out the responsibilities of the executive branch under the Constitution. So there, Justices Kagan, Sotomayor, and Jackson, they weren't buying that take that the president is not above the law, with Sotomayor dropping this bomb, saying this new official acts immunity now lies about like a loaded weapon for any president that wishes to place his own interests, his own political survival, or his own financial gain above the interests of the nation. When he uses his official powers in any way under the majority's reasoning, he now will be insulated from criminal prosecution. Orders the Navy's SEAL Team 6 to assassinate a political rival, immune. Organizes a military coup to hold on to power, immune. Takes a bribe in exchange for a pardon, immune, 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 immune. Let the president violate the law, let him exploit the trappings of his office for personal gain, let him use his official power for evil ends. Because if he knew that he may one day face liability for breaking the law, he might not be as bold and fearless as we would like him to be. That is the majority's message today. In closing, even if these nightmare scenarios never play out, and I pray they never do, the damage has been done. The relationship between the president and the people he serves has shifted irrevocably. In every use of official power, the president is now a king above the law.